My name is Adam. I am the coach of the Titletown Tyrantrums, formerly known as the Shauna Shelgons, returning for the first official season of the National Exhibition Syndicate. We previously covered the draft. If you didn't watch that video, go back and see it just so you know what 11 Pokemon I'm working with. My first match for Season 1 has already been played. In the future, I don't intend to do all of these posts happening. I intend to cover the team builder before I've had the match, but in this specific case, we are going to do the team builder and the match right now together, just so that in the future, you can look back and say, oh yeah, that's right, that's what happened during week 1. So I am playing the previously named coach of the season during our test season, CrazyRazey, and the Swindon Fletchlings. I played him twice during the test season, once in the regular season, where he sweeped me very heavily. It wasn't really a sweep, it was just, I got like 5-0'd or 6-0'd. And then I played him again in the playoffs, and due to Showdown Leg and him realizing what shenanigans I was trying to pull, I was able to set up a Swords Dance in the sand with Excadrill, and I swept him, eliminating him from the playoffs. I really think that he should have won the test season. He was just so good. He was playing so well. He was building such good teams that, I feel like he kind of got robbed, and I understand that, but I was going to take what I could get and see if I could win it all. So first week, season 1, and guess who I have to play? The coach with the chip on the shoulder for the team that eliminated them during test season. So he drafted just as well. He drafts so well. I cannot say enough about how good he drafts and how good he builds his teams. Good balance of bulk recovery and physical pressure that they put on. So when I was trying to build this team, I'm like, I really don't want to play his team. If you want to know the 11 Pokemon that I'm playing, you can look down below the team builder. You should see them in a beautiful layout right there. You will also see my team, the 6 Pokemon that I elected to bring when playing the Swindon Fletchlings this week. As I mentioned, the match already happened, so I kind of know how it turns out. I'm going to try to cover why I elected to run each Pokemon the way that I did, and then we will talk about the match, and we'll have a good day. So the first Pokemon that I brought was Mew. It is named Kai. You'll notice all 6 of my Pokemon are named after Vampire Diaries characters. It's one of my favorite shows. If you have a problem with that, you can fight me. So Kai the Mew is the first one. It is holding a weakness policy with Ice Beam, Psyshock, Sludge Bomb, and Roost. I brought Mew because it's just so diverse. I don't think that this was necessarily the best set. I really should have run Shadow Ball on it. For Slowking, it would have been just as useful as Ice Beam really ended up being. But the goal of Mew was to go in, take a hit, hopefully a super effective hit that it would live, get its weakness policy boost, and then either roost up or keep dealing damage until it died. That was basically it. I love Mew, I love working with it, but definitely not the way that the match played out. This set really didn't do me any favors. The next we brought was Stefan, the Steelix. Steelix was leftovers and sturdy with Stealth Rock, Heavy Slam, Earthquake, and Toxic. It had 3 different potential jobs it could run. It could either put up rocks, it could Toxic something, or it could Heavy Slam, hopefully the Clefable. I realized it probably wouldn't be able to do all 3 just because it is not specially bulky, and it really can't take a Flamethrower, it can't take a Fire Blast, can't take most fighting type moves, especially like Focus Blast, which came into play as you'll see during the match. But hopefully I wanted to Heavy Slam the Clefable if I could. That's why it's running Sturdy instead of, maybe Sheer Force and a Life Orb or something else. I wanted to Heavy Slam if I could, but if I couldn't, I either wanted Rocks or Toxic. I just hoped Steelix could do something. It seemed like the best choice. Maybe it wasn't, but hey, it's what we ran with. So we went with it. The third was Klaus, the Galvantula, with Life Orb and Compound Eyes, Gastro Acid, Thunder, Volt Switch, and Thunder Wave. Klaus's goal was to go in and out, possibly speed control, deal out some damage if it had to, but it was running Gastro Acid so that it could get rid of the Regenerator on Tangrowth and on Slowking, and also to try to get rid of Magic Guard and Unaware on Clefable. I thought that Klaus would be helpful in this match. I think that he had a bad break this week. He really didn't get to do much. But I think that this was an alright set. It was better than running Bug Buzz. Bug Buzz really wouldn't have done much this match that Thunder couldn't do. The fourth was Enzo, the Mega Evolving Pinsir. Of course, we have to Mega Evolve turn 1, so Moxie doesn't really matter. Is running Quick Attack, Return, Earthquake, and Swords Dance. Pinsir's major goal was to Swords Dance. I wanted to get it out in a beneficial situation. Sorry for the long pause, but that is not right. It should not have been 252 minus special attack. That could have been a problem. I don't remember. That doesn't look right. Since we already had the match, I can't tell you what it was running, but it was not supposed to have 252 in special attack. It was supposed to have 252 in attack. Awkward. So that could have played a small part in what happened. We're going to ignore that for now. We're going to go to Damon, the Mian-Shao, with High Jump, Kick, U-Turn, Poison Jab, and Knockoff. He was Choice Scarfed. I was so worried about Mismagius coming in and setting up a nasty plot on me because it's so fast. I think 115 base speed. I didn't know what else to do, so I was going to Choice Scarf my Mian-Shao. And, you know, if that thing's set up, Mian-Shao is coming out after something probably died and knocking off, and then hopefully KOing the Mismagius right there. That was really his major function. Otherwise, he was life orbed. I changed his item last minute because, like I said, I was so paranoid about Mismagius coming in and setting up and then outspeeding everything on my team and KOing it. So that was Mian-Shao's really what his purpose was. And then finally I had Elena, the Milotic with leftovers in Marble Scale. I elected Marble Scale because there's really nothing that would give me a competitive boost that I thought would matter. But it was running Ice Beam, Scald, Recover, and Toxic. Pretty standard Milotic set. Toxic, of course, for Clefable or anything else that was really bulky and would try to switch in on Milotic. So those were the 6 Pokemon. Obviously, Mega Pinsir's having some weird problem going on right there. I don't know if its set got changed or not. Alright, guys. Now that we've talked about the team builder, we are going to jump right into talking about the match that I had with Crazy and the Swindon Fletchlings. As I mentioned in the team builder, this match already happened. This is post-commentary. I'm only going to hit on, a couple of the main points, talk about a couple of my thoughts about the match. A thing to note is that we had to play this match twice, because the first time I brought Mega Pinsir in its Mega form automatically, because it was a custom game. I did not bring Pinsir holding a Pinsirite in its regular form, and when I changed it to a regular Pinsir, it was level 100, and it swept through half of his team before either of us noticed. So we're going to replay it. We replayed, I think, there were 20 or so turns in the original match that we had to replay. There are a couple differences. I'll note them when we get there. The 6 Pokemon I expected him to bring were Clefable, Arcanine, Mismagius, Mega Ampharos, Tangrowth, and Terrakion. The 6 he brought were Clefable, Mandibuzz, Durant, Mega Ampharos, Arcanine, and Slowking. Not seeing a Mismagius, I breathed a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, I was also kind of upset, because had I known that the Mismagius was not going to come at all, I probably would not have brought Mian-Shao at all. I would have brought a different Pokemon with a different utility for this match. Also, he still has a regenerate Pokemon in Slowking instead of Tangrowth, so Gastro Acid is theoretically still the good idea to run on Galvantula. So I ultimately decided to lead with Steelix, hoping that if he decided to lead with Clefable for whatever reason, maybe to deal with whatever, that I could Heavy Slam it. Other than that, Stealth Rock lead. Ended up bringing it back. He used Morning Sun to replicate a Fire Blast missed in our original battle. I switched into Milotic here, and I decided to do Toxic. Whatever was going to come in on the Clefable slouch ended up being the Slowking. I didn't mind getting a Toxic off on the Slowking at all. I figured he would switch out, but even if he didn't, I was going to bring in Galvantula. He could have Energy Balled or Grass Knotted as he did. But Galvantula could be a pivot with Volt Switch. Now, here's kind of the first place that I want to point something out, because we had to replay this match. I Gastro Acided. If I had known he would switch into Mega Ampharos of all things, I would not have Gastro Acided. Basically anything else on his team I wouldn't have minded getting the Gastro Acid on, but Mega Ampharos was just kind of not worth it. So that's one of those ones where you just want to hit your head against the wall. Like, why did I Gastro Acid? I mean, I know why I Gastro Acid, because I wanted to get it on Slowking, and I thought maybe Slowking would stay in, but it obviously wouldn't on Galvantula. Here I decided to switch into Steelix, and I elected to Toxic the Mega Ampharos, which had set up a Reflect after hitting me with the Focus Blast. The Toxic, again, I didn't know if he would stay in or not, but I definitely wanted to Toxic whatever was going to come in. And here's where, right again after the Galvantula problem, I found out that he was running his Mega Ampharos as a Cleric with Heal Bell, and had I known that Mega Ampharos was going to be a Cleric and Heal Bell the Toxics away, I probably wouldn't really brought Toxic at all, maybe on my low tick still. But right there, you just want to bang your head against a wall and say, why did I Toxic, the Mega Ampharos instead of EQing it, or Heavy Slamming it, or setting up Stealth Rocks, or literally anything else. So here you see that I got paralyzed by its discharge, and here's really the first major change from our first match. I didn't get paralyzed the first time. So originally he Morning Sun stalled me until I crashed from High Jump Kick. The second time I just let him Fire Blast me. Same result, Yanshao died. Arcanine had a little bit less health the second time around. And this sort of represents a point that I think has cost me more than one match in the past, and that is that I get so hyper-focused on taking out the Mon in front of me, like Arcanine, and scalding it, that I don't think about the obvious switch-ins that might come in that I could have played for. So like Arcanine here, I could have predicted to switch up for something, but I didn't, and so I elected to Scald when I could have Ice Beamed, which would have been the more obvious play, suspecting a Mega Ampharos switch in. And then I am able to get an Ice Beam off, but then after he sets up the Reflect, it happens again. I get so focused on Ice Beaming this Mega Ampharos a second time that I don't realize that he's probably going to send in Slowking and save the Mega Ampharos. And I could have either Toxic'd again, I could have doubled out into something else, or really anything besides Ice Beaming the Slowking. Now in both matches that we played, I did not freeze him the first time with Ice Beam, I did the second time. But in both cases, Galvantula died to a crit. The first time it was a crit Psyshock, the second time it was a crit Scald. And I was just so frustrated at this point, because not only had Mianshaw really not served as much of a purpose as it should have, but now Galvantula had served basically no purpose. It Gastro Acid a Pokemon that got its ability back, and that was really it. So I was frustrated. I decided to I had to send in Pinsir the second time because I sent it in the first time. I set up a Swords Dance just like I did the first time. This was the last turn that we had to replay, and he gets the Scald Burn. I elected to play on instead of replaying all the way again to what ended up being turn 19. The return would not have done a whole lot more damage than it did. It would have, been more, but I still would have died to the second Scald. I might have elected to switch into my low tick. This time around, had I not gotten burned, just to preserve Mega Pinsir and maybe send it in later, but the fact that I got burned, I just, I would have had to set up Swords Dances, and nothing on this team was going to let me set up at that low of health. So I let it go. That was, 3 Pokemon I've lost so far they really didn't contribute to the cause in any way at all. And I was a little frustrated at this point. I hate looking at my team and thinking, you didn't do anything, you didn't do anything, you didn't do anything. But I think it's really a testament to Crazy's team building and his battling, sort of battling style and battling skill, that he is able to just frustrate you with how useless he makes your team building feel and how helpless he makes you feel battling him. Anytime you think that you get any sort of momentum, he just kind of takes it back and takes it back. And, at this point in time, I kind of had hope for you to pull through, but without Shadow Ball to take out the Slowking, it was going to be able to regenerate or stall me long into next week. It was nice to get the poison on Clayble at this point, but it really wasn't going to help because with Slowking getting this wish and me not having Shadow Ball to take it out, you know, I was going to try to Psyshock it to see if it would do any more damage at all. It did a little bit more. I get my weakness policy boost, so now Sludge Bomb was going to do double the damage, but again, if I had been running Shadow Ball over Ice Beam, which I mean I really didn't need Ice Beam, it never was used up by Mew. If I'd been running Shadow Ball, you know, I maybe could have made this match more interesting. Maybe could have pulled into like a 3-0 loss. But, you know, that's going to be the end of it. Steelix is going to go down to Rocky Helmet Recoil from the Mandibuzz. That's going to call it a game. Couple end notes. Mienshao is going to count as a passive death because it died to its own high jump kick recoil in the original match that we played, instead of the Fire Blast that it took from Arcanine the second time around. And Steelix is going to die a regular death. Mandibuzz is going to get a kill for holding the Rocky Helmet. I think that when it comes down to it, I respect Crazy so much as a player and a coach and a person. He really helps us all out. He wants to help us build teams when he has time. He wants to make us better, and I think he likes the challenge of building teams. And so, you know, I hope to work with him this season to become a better team builder and ultimately a better battler. I think that I'm mostly just happy to get this match out of the way because this is the match that I was dreading all of the test season. Having to play, you know, the undefeated coach was not high on my to-do list. I think that, you know, a loss in the first week and a -5 differentials not the easiest thing to come back from, but it can only go uphill from here. So I think I'm going to call it a video, call it a day. Hopefully in the future we're going to get regular team builders and either better post commentary or live commentary of the future matches. Obviously these are going to be combined into one video just for the sake of being done with week 1 and moving on to bigger and better things. Again, if you missed the draft recap, you can see that on the channel. Otherwise, I hope you come back soon and catch up with the rest of the NES as we progress through our official first season. And most of all, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again soon.